Kebab. They know that Yapzor's there as well. And
know.
Yapzor, they're going to try and set it up perfectly here. The stun's going to miss. Shards will come through. Miracle trying to get himself in position. Doesn't use the Sonic Wave. Doesn't need to. They'll find themselves one. They'll look for Kebab here as well. Now Sing Sing coming into the fight, seeing what he can do, taking the mana away from Miracle, but the Sonic Wave's already there. They'll find Kebab. Mana Void comes through onto the Queen of Pain. Not quite enough. Sing Sing trying to chase this down here. He's not going to be able to do so, so they do just lose 2 here, Monkey Freedom Fighters, and can't quite find anything in return there.
Well, it's still a little bit of time before this aim is going to really get off the ground, and especially with the mag being dead, you need to kind of stick together with the AM most of the time now, I feel, if you're a Rise. At the very least, just give him the Empower so he can farm the woods, and yeah, we're going to see that being utilized. The one thing that MFF can take solace in right now, OG are not great at killing Roshan. Like, they need Helm of the Dominator up on No-Tail before they can even attempt it, and then they're going to also need a point into Sigil on crit, which he's opted to go for the full nuke build. So they don't have that capability just yet. They probably will in the next 5 or 10 minutes, but that does give MFF a tad bit of breathing room, because normally an Aegis push this early means that you pretty much sack your tier 1s. It's like, okay, we can't fight into this. If we do, we lose. Then they get an even bigger advantage, and it is something nice for MFF that they don't have to worry about that coming their way, at least not right now. What is a little bit concerning is Moon is level 11.
Yes. He's having a great time here in the next Assassin. 3 kills, 2 assists, only tied the once. He's looking for more action here at the moment with the Vendetta. Just hiding behind enemy lines. There's actually a smoke.
He's going to break it. Oh, God, that's so bad.
The ping's coming
They don't
out.
have any detection.
They do have a sentry down on Kebab. They drop it a Rise. Just baiting here with the RP. Doesn't quite blow it. Just holding around.
How did they not have even a single sentry?
But they dropped the sentry on Kebab. They did.
Oh, they did afterwards.
They had a sentry.
Okay.
Here, but yeah, I was
going to say that was
got to the high ground on the next. Yeah.
Was he just looking somewhere else, I suppose, when they were walking past?
It was a little bit of a slow reaction, I think.
Yeah.
And no doubt, farming up the Ancients there. But I think off the back of what you're saying in terms of Roshan, the fact that OG's lineup isn't the greatest at taking it, and Monkey Freedom Fighter, it's a great lineup for fighting into the Roche pit. With the RP, with the wall, with the Winter's Curse, there's the potential to try and turn it if OG do try and go for a greedy Roche at any point in the game.
That is very, very true. And especially once the AM finishes up Battle Fury and Blitz, then you can easily take it. And that's going to be the point in the game where you start have to worry about the split push. But again, it's all about the Orchid timing here on Miracle 2. Because if he gets that Orchid before Sing has his Manta up, it just means there's one more hero on the map that you have to worry about who has the capability of solo killing you as an AM. And that's the worst feeling in the world. When you lack vision, you can't see it coming.
Oh, I can see a smoke coming out from the side of OG. Kebab just hiding here in the tree line. Will now move out, reveal himself in the mid lane. The pings are coming out here onto the Wyvern. And they'll have to call down the stun from the high ground. Kebab, he's not going anywhere. Easy pick up there for the side of OG. Kill will get credited here to Miracle. Well, let's try and take the tier 1 off the back of this. Monkey Freedom Fighters themselves hanging around the bottom. There's going to be Demon moving in. Asus is going to spot him out here. Miracle's got a DD. Demon will pop the mech, but with the Sonic Wave, no way he's living through that one. Double kill picks up there for Queen. Arise does have an RP here, but with this Dire Observer, they're going to know exactly where he is. You've got the next Assassin ready as well if MFF do try and fight into it. And OG, they're ready to go. There's going to be the blink. Gets the Skewer onto Fly. Light Strike Array as well. With the Shockwave, can they quite do it? But the punch is coming out from Crit. They'll try and turn. The Laguna Blade will finish off Fly. Arise baits out the RP. Finally uses it onto No-Tail, but it doesn't matter. He still goes down. They won't find a kill off the back of the RP to top off that they already found onto Venge. And it ends up overall just being a 2-for-1 trade there. OG still coming out on top, and Arise, you could see that he was hoping to find a perfect opportunity to use that RP, but he just couldn't, and he ends up blowing it in a situation where nothing can be done off the back of it.
It's going to be very difficult to find big RPs, right? Both cores on the side of OG are ranged. If there was an RP that managed to hit both of them, you have a swap for at least one, right? At this point, it's 17 minutes in. Our Winter Wyvern is level 5.5. We've seen this before. A support who is extremely underleveled, whereas having the ultimate available to you, like Winter's Curse, helps so much in these engagements. Just being able to land a nice vac wall, lining up a Light Strike Array after the fact, or even, you know, an RP.
So I've got an Orchid here. Sing Sing tries to check it out a little bit here, and yeah, he should be fine. So I'm going to chase him here. Miracle actually just backs off. Knows there's going to be some reaction coming out from the rest of the side of MFF. Moon, though, however, he may go in a little bit closer. Just stands here to try and get the vision, but MFF, they're playing it safe. Back up to the tier 1. 40 seconds until that RP is back online. OG 11 for 5, 17 minutes in, but you've got to admit it, MFF at the moment in Game 2 looking a lot stronger than they did in this position at Game 1.
They are definitely looking to be in better shape.
Yes.
However, it's still not good shape.
No.
That's the problem. I mean, they've turned it around a little bit. And yeah, the Battle Fury is going to be coming up on Sing here shortly, which is pretty astounding considering how hard of a laning phase he actually had. So the fact that he has not yet gotten a single death to his name, and he is also able to get this level of farm is pretty insane. They are going to be losing Roshan, though. Hemel the Dominator is complete on that gyrocopter.
Again, these smokes. I mean, it's going to dispel a couple of them.
This is actually the worst shit ever. Like, when you're playing against Nyx and this happens to you, like, they can't even catch him with a sentry.
Yeah,
everything the MFF are trying to do is being thwarted. And the movement of the Nyx and just how long you actually stay in Vendetta now, because they buff the duration at lower levels. It used to be a lot shorter. So now even at level 1, it's 40 seconds. And the movement speed also, I think, got increased at levels 1 and 2. So you can kind of just scout out for a much longer period of time and prevent that rotation coming in from MFF. So OG continually just playing a very solid game.
Yeah, and the farm as well for Notal. He's been clearing up stack after stack here at the Ancients, and he's starting to show. He's, what, 500 into the recipe here for the BKB?
Yep.
And when that's online, I mean, MFF, they've got an RP. They've got a fair bit of right-click with the anti-mage. I mean, I say that. How's his Battle Fury looking, I was saying?
He almost has it. He's like 300, 400 away.
Okay, after the last sword. Okay, so he is getting there. And then the potential to farm and catch up with the value, at least in terms of net worth, of OG is there. But OG, they're not going to want to let that happen. They're smoked up and ready to go. Heading towards the top lane. They're going to be able to lead in here with a Vendetta on Moon. We'll see what they can jump onto first. Arise hiding in this tree line. He's going to actually just TP straight out of it. The snowball comes through. He's going to connect in time. No. He'll probably able to find the stun. So it looks like MFF will avoid it apart from Jimmy. Jimmy gets left behind.
Nyx is so good against Darkseer, man.
There's a lot of burst with that burn.
Well, it's not even about the burst per se. It's just about the fact that any hero that you have Ion Shell applied to, you can get stunned for 2.5 seconds with that. Like, he just stuns him for 5 seconds every single time he opens. It's like eating a full Morana arrow. That's how the Nyx combo works against any hero who just has AoE. You're just stunned forever. That's really the issue that you run into. Because normally you want to come into a fight, you want a vac wall. If the Nyx sees you coming and pops Carapace preemptively before the vacuum...
Oh, saying a Miracle's got a Sonic Wave here as well.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. He did manage to finish off the Battle Fury before that happened, though. So that's the silver lining there, but it is a very thin one.
Yeah, it ain't great. I mean, you could also argue that having some towers left at 20 minutes is an upgrade from the first game. But it's still not looking great. I don't understand how OG can go from playing one style, right? Like last game, they were very teamfight oriented. They did it extremely well. Everyone was on the same page. This time, they used their offlaner in a completely different way. Like, Moon's job this game has more or less just been gathering information, like similarly to how you would play like a bounty hunter, right? You walk around, you try to find the enemy, and then you kill them.
Oh, Miracle. Finding kills across the map here. He's going to feel the wrath here at the quad. Monster kill streak for the man. 14 for 5. OG continuing their flow. There is RP up here on a rise. Now, can they find the combo that they've been waiting for again? They have got the Vacuum Wall. They've got the Winter's Curse available. They've got the Battle Fury and the Empower on the Anti-Mage. If they can find the big RP, they've got a shot. Looks like we are just going to have a bit of a pause here. And then we'll see if MFF can play out the bag after we do resume. But it is going to have to be one of the biggest wombo combos that MFF will have ever hit, let alone even dreamed of, to turn this one.
I mean, if they catch Miracle, I think that's one of the biggest targets, because you want the hero with the biggest mana pool at this point.
Yes.
That's the one thing that you can look to and be like, okay, if we get a big mana void, if we get a big RP, there's some team fight potential there, for sure. And now that they have a Winter's Curse actually available, that's going to be some icing on the cake for them as well. But, like, your Winter Wyvern hit 6 so late. Like, unbelievably late. The other supports were like level 9 by the time you were level 5.
Yes.
Like, that is a problem. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that when you last pick AM and you've already given away Gyro, you really haven't seen the other supports yet from the side of OG at that point, right? Because they picked, I think it was Gyro, and then they picked Tusk, and they picked Queen third. So you still don't actually know what they're doing with their lanes. And then at the very end of it, you're like, okay, well, we have Magnus. They've banned out Juggernaut. They've banned out, what else did they ban?
They banned out the Sven.
The Sven, and Tiny.
And Tiny they banned.
Okay, so those are all the 3 heroes that could have potentially contested a lane. So OG are looking at the draft and thinking, all right, we still have some lane ambiguity. We can potentially go aggressive if need be because we got Gyro. You know, Tusk is still okay in an aggressive support lane. And then it's like, oh, they picked AM. We can just go aggressive. Last pick Venge. You know, it doesn't even matter. We just need another hero with a disable, and we know that AM can't fight us. So it's fine. Like, the way that Fly drafted around this was actually very, very smart, so I'm a fan.
And, of course, Monkey Freedom Fighters certainly aren't at the moment. I'm not a fan of what's been going on from OG, but let's have a look. Let's see if Jimmy suggesting a remake from the beginning of the game. Yeah. I don't think that's going to fly with the admins, Jimmy.
Unfortunately, there is still no ability to load from replay and reborn. So
there isn't.
We cannot actually remake the game. We're just hoping that it gets better. Because both teams are experiencing some lag and packet loss right now.
They are. But it looks like we're going to give it a shot. So let's get ourselves back in, get the game back underway. And remember that we are at this crucial point where we're seeing if Arise can hit that big RP that he needs to.
I think you just... I can't hear you anymore. Did you kick your...
I kicked it out.
You kicked out? Okay, Owen kicked out his own microphone cable on the back of the desk. Pretty standard stuff coming in from him. But for the time being, OG is continually applying some pressure.
Don't worry, Andy, we fixed it.
Oh my god.
Look at that.
I can't believe you actually did that.
That music tech degree paid off.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. 14 for 5 at the moment. And, okay, didn't happen. Arise couldn't find the enemy he's looking for. He's nearly got the 4 staff as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to help him step it up. OG on the high ground. Looking to tickle MFF to get the start to Arise or screw himself away. He's going to be able to hold them back here at the moment. The pressure from OG continues onto the tier 2. As MFF are just forced back into their base hit. Bottom lane, Sing Sing continuing to find the farm. TPs are baited out here, and they'll actually... they're sending a few heroes down to this bottom lane as well, but Sing Sing's playing this game very careful. He knows that a lot is on him to get this farm online and become the very scary and potent force that an anti-mage can be.
They are on to him, man. They saw that TP.
They certainly are.
They got that ward. They're like, all right, boys, it's time to go. And it's going to see pretty much everything. They're going for a bait on Sing, and OG are going to be fully aware of this. They are going to get the D ward, which should give them some information. At the very least, that Sing should not be safe. He should definitely not farm, and I think he knows it too.
So many pings are coming out.
Moon's here also with the Vendetta.
Sing knows they're onto him as well.
He didn't see them, or he didn't see the AM, so he's just checking for the standard TP spots right now.
And I mean, they can turn MFF. They've got 4 heroes here, so if AK Moon reveals himself, there is going to be the turn. So I don't think he will. He'll play it safe, just scouting out, getting intel for the rest of the side of OG. OG themselves, they are scattered across the map, so they're not necessarily going to want to try and fight into this one. As MFF do just hang around the sidelines and just giving this space for Sing Sing. It's all that they can do here at this point.
I mean, they're getting some space for Sing, but at the end of the day, the AM, you gotta solo carry this game with just an RP. I mean, that's really what it feels like, and that is a very, very steep hill to climb.
Dire's top tower is under
I mean, Miracle's game so far. 8 kills, hasn't died at all. He's got the Aghanims complete now on the Orchid, 23 minutes in.
Yeah. I mean, really, what do you do with the supports on MFF this game? You can't contest the tri-lane because your support duo is weaker in terms of kill potential. And the other thing is you're playing against a Gyro versus AM matchup, which is totally in favor of Gyro at the early laning stage. So you can try to go mid, but you're ganking a Queen of Pain with no reliable opener. And then your last option is go try to kill the Nyx, which probably would have been the better choice, honestly, like after seeing the way the game played out. Just like pressuring the Nyx a little bit, so maybe Jimmy can get to an earlier mech. They take some team fights based off that, and then maybe that opens up space for Sing. Because he wasn't farming even with the supports there. Like, it's not like them being there was allowing him to get anything out of that lane. They were just kind of soaking, and then nothing really happened except OG won the lane really hard.
I mean, at this point, what is the plan for MFF? Is it just kind of sit back,
you hope for the biggest mana void ever.
Yeah.
That is pretty much what you're looking at. Okay, here's what you do, right? You get a refresher on AM.
Double mana void.
And you go for the RP double mana void. The problem is, I don't think Queen of Pain lives through the first mana void if she's low on mana. I think she just dies. Oh no, actually she would live. She has a tiny bit less health than mana, but there is magic resistance, so...
Top lane, they're just using the RP to get any kill that they can. They'll screw back crit, the light strike will be on point, and with the Runa they'll find themselves a kill. And in a game where kind of the pace has slowed down, using an RP at this point to secure yourself one kill isn't the worst of uses.
It's fine. Like, if you're not going to find a teamfight-oriented RP, then you have to use one to get kills. And luckily for MFF, their lanes weren't, like, super pushed in. I mean, sure, they might be able to apply some pressure to the tier 2, but a kill is a kill. Some extra space being created.
Right, they're looking for No-Tail. No-Tail will put the BKB, turns around with the rocket barrage onto Dino with a missile as well. Miracle walks in, takes the kill, with the kill secure. Godlike here on the Quap. They'll look for the tier 2 here as well at the bottom. And this is a period where 40 seconds without a Darkseer. Of course, RP is still going to be on cooldown if OG do want to try and force this issue to the high ground. But I imagine Roshan's going to be back up fairly shortly. Obviously, we've been talking about how OG are a team that plays it safe. They don't take too many risks. Mid lane, I'm going to see...
Nice force staff. That was really good. Sing almost would have died to that, I think, if they didn't force staff him there.
And Sing as well. Looking to skip out the Vlads this game, and by the looks of it, just trying to get that Manta online to deal with the Quap Orc in initiation.
The Manta is a necessary thing. Like, most of the time you would want to buy Vlads first, just to keep you up and, like, sustained while you're farming. But the fact of the matter is, if Miracle can stop you from farming all on his own, OG still win the 4v4 if the AM and the Queen aren't there, right? Because they're just so much more farmed at this stage in the game. And it's even reflected by the overall net worth. Last game, Miracle had just, like, a tremendous amount of CS in comparison to everyone else, but OG playing a little bit of a dual core style this game. It's letting Miracle farm everything along with No-Tail. So it doesn't really matter if you're negating like the highest net worth hero on the side of MFF with your own, you still have something else to fall back on. MFF don't have that other hero who's super farmed. Like Arise has 63 CS in a 27-minute game. He's not hitting creeps anymore. He's leaving everything for Sing.
Yeah, he's got that RP back online though again. So we'll see if he's able to do anything with it. Moon just clearing out the mid lane here. He's working towards, of course, the Aghanims here on the Nyx Assassin now on top of the Force. And he's fairly close to it as well. There's 500 gold to go and he'll be able to pick that one up. So something else that Monkey Freedom Fighters aren't. I'm going to have the most fun of times fighting into as he hides in his little mound of dirt and kicks out his spells. It's going to be fairly annoying for the lineup of MFF, especially a lineup that's nowhere near picking up a BKB for any of the heroes. And not that they want to anywhere. Rise moving forward again. The RP's being used, but this is a big kill. Getting No-Tail with the Winter's Curse as well, and they burst him down. These are the pickoffs that Monkey Freedom Fighters need to find.
That's
big
a good
kills.
one. That's a really, really good one. Because that means they can actually pressure the tier 1. It sounds like a weird thing to say, but since their tier 2 mid is already dead, OG are going to have to choose between, do they want to try to push in top, do they want to push in mid a bit, or did they want to defend without their gyro? Is it possible? Yes, because RP and Curse are both down. Do they want to take the risk? I suppose we'll have to see.
Miracle just tying up the Absol here at the moment. He's got a Sonic Wave.
Oh, they're not even going to push it. Wow, they're just going to back. Alright, they are super scared. Miracle's just hanging it. Oh, a very rare miss up there from Miracle. The Sonic Wave totally off point. And he's just got to get himself out there. Yapsor's able to juke that one off quite nicely. Keeps his life intact. That was interesting, but living is living, as they say. This Nyx has Aghanims, by the way. He's got it done. It's actually so good on this hero. And the thing is, you never have to go back to base anymore. Ever. You just burrow. And the other thing is, you don't actually have to be hit anymore for Carapace to work as long as you're burrowed, so you can potentially stun multiple heroes for 5 seconds at a time. That's pretty much RP. Like, obviously it doesn't go through BKB, but the stun time is similar. And as we can see, the fact that Gyro, No-Tail, even though he did lose his life down the bottom, he's just finished up the Butterfly as well, ready to go for the next fight. And obviously no sign of anything like an MKB coming out anytime soon here for Sync. No-Tail, they're going to start to go for Roshan. Imagine how long till RP's back up here on a rise. Should be soon. Yep, 3 seconds. Okay, so they do have the tools to deal with it, but they're not really in the right location at the moment, MFF. They're just looking to put some pressure onto this top tier 2, so OG should get away with this one. They're taking the time here. They haven't got the quickest means to deal with it. But nonetheless, I don't think Monkey Freedom Fighters will be able to stop this. Manta is now complete on Sing, so he's going to be feeling a little bit more confident in terms of going out on the map. And at the same time that comes online, there's a BKB for the Quap, so Miracle in these fights is going to be even harder for MFF to deal with. I don't know how they're going to kill No-Tail. Like, I think he can just go back for Satanic if he wants. He's building his gyro as like the hard carry position. Sometimes we see SNY and Helm of the Dominator, similar to Game 1, where Miracle was playing it, because they knew they could just end the game at that timing. But this time, No Tail is building for the ultra late, just giving the respect to the AM and the Magnus, just saying, okay, just in case we mess up, I have a build that's going to be a lot harder for the AM to fight into if we're trying to breach the high ground. So even if I do get RP'd, I'm going to have Satanic to fall back on with BKB. I can heal myself up. And then if I haven't been stun-locked to death, we've won the fight. Like, that's pretty much what that build can do against MFS lineup right now.
There's a smoke up here from OG. They're heading towards the top lane. Both Kabap and Arise hiding in the trees. We'll see if OG do decide to try and scout it out any deeper into the sidelines. They've got the force on Moon if he wants to slide into the trees. Kabap it's coming out, but just from the end of the night vision here. I don't think they quite got the vision of him. So Kabap, well, he's going to reveal himself now. Now the pings come out. They know that they're there. They know that both of them are there. In fact, and Arise blinks forward here. Skewers away, and he's going to look for the TP, but there's the stun here from Moon. And unfortunate that MFF chose that time to reveal themselves up there whilst there was 3 heroes from the side of OG behind them smoked up.
Yeah, that is what we call unfortunate timing. Sometimes Dota 2 happens, man. Can happen to anyone, unfortunately, and happen to Arise. And OG are going to be happy with that. They're just going to continue to push out the lanes. Sing, like full Manta, this is the point in the game where he can start to become a real nuisance. If they start getting an RP or 2 on either Moon or the Queen, those are definitely the best targets at this point in terms of how much damage your Mana Void's going to deal. If you can get that going, there is still teamfight potential for you. You can turn. But it's still difficult if the enemy isn't really grouping up. Like, you're looking at maybe a one-man RP into the Curse, very similar to what we saw them do against No Tail. But if you do it against Miracle or the Nyx, they should be dead.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, as you said, OG, if there was ever a team to play around these huge kind of AoE spells, it's going to be OG.
Yeah.
With their very careful way that they normally try and break the high ground, which is why we get to these positions again. 32 minutes in, we haven't seen the biggest amount of kills. We've just seen a lot of careful play here from OG. And now they're going to try and move forward here. To go for the tier 3, but Arise moves in. Skill's going to be off point. He has still got that RP though. So we'll see what OG do. Moon's just setting up outside of the base.
My god, that stun range is massive. Look at that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for them to even fight off the back of a good RP with the imminent threat of the Nyx Assassin.
I mean, you can't even go on him when he's burrowed. That's the problem. Because you deal almost no damage to him. He takes 40% reduced damage from all sources.
Alright, again, he's hoping for these skewer hooks, but it's not going to happen. Alright, going to lose the courier here on the side of OG. Didn't have anything in it, though. And meanwhile, top racks are just being slowly taken down here from OG.
Yeah,
Demon looks for the vacuum, but the BKB's there and the cooldown comes out as well. Darkseid just gets blown the hell up, and No Tail's moving in for more here with Miracle. Looking to find some more action. Winter's Curse has come out, but it just doesn't matter here at this point. They've lost 3 heroes on the side of MFF. There'll be a buyback here on the Lina.
Invisibility.
They already have lost quite a bit here at the back of this fight. And Arise, he's got an RP. The follow-up, is it there? They're brought back on the Darkseid. They still have the vacuum and wall combo available. So just coming on to Rise, holding him off from getting any kind of blink initiation. You've got Sing Sing on the bottom, looking for a bit of a split push. And he might just get away with this tier 2. A TP coming in for the Nyx Assassin here. Oh, Sing Sing with a very short blink. Finds the tower. Let's see if they've got the control to stun him in place here. And while moving forward with the snowball, Sing Sing, can he get the blink off in time? He can. He's going to be fine. No, I say that. Crit goes forward here. The Manta coming out. Sing Sing continuing to go on the run. And it looks like he will be able to TP himself out. So we're seeing Sing Sing doing exactly what he needs to here, just putting pressure elsewhere on the map, forcing OG to back up, but they do lose racks.
I don't know about this. I think he needed BKB. Without BKB, there's no way you can fight them. Like, there's too many disables. You're basically going to get snowballed, like stunned, Nyx, carapace, like any number of things can happen to you in a teamfight right now. With Empower, I don't think you need the damage from the Basher. Having the control is nice, but you're still pretty much only reliant on getting an RP. I don't know if I agree with the Basher here.
I mean, I guess could the thought process be that if you get the Basher and eventually the Abyssal Blade kind of earlier on in terms of the build, when you're doing these split pushes, OG can't just send one or even two heroes back. They've got to commit quite a few with the reaction. Otherwise, there is the danger of the Sing Sing anti-mage just jumping straight on you with the bash and bursting you down with the Manta style and just getting the kill with the Void.
It is the more YOLO play, that's for sure. Like, you're right about the solo kill potential. It is definitely better with an Abyssal Blade, but I don't think that OG really need to focus you that much. I think they just need to get one more lane pushed in, and then no matter how much you split push, it's going to be an uphill battle because there's 2 lanes of racks down. And at that stage, you have to actually push the lanes that are dead, which means less income. It takes longer, and that just gives OG more wiggle room. So you want BKB to stop them from getting to that point. I'm not sure if he's going to have the time to farm another item, or if he just wants to save for buyback at this point. But he's already been forced back to base, and OG are well in position to do something here.
Missile just coming out to Sing Sing. Let's see if it goes for the...
Is that max rocket? It is, wow, okay. Don't see that very often.
Okay, this could be big from MFF. They're smoked up. Can Arise find that RP? There are 3 heroes at the moment on the side of OG, fairly close together on the bottom lane. So they're going to move elsewhere around the map. Looking towards the H's, they know that No-Tail's been clearing a fair few of them here, so we'll see if OG come forward. Crit is there. Can they find it? They'll RP just straight onto Crit. They're looking for the easy kill and they'll get it. They'll take down the Tusk. No-Tail trying to move in to see if he find anything in return. Greaves a pop though on the side of MFF. They're going to see Moon get the stun here onto the Wyverns. They'll find a kill in return. There's actually a buyback here from the Tusk. Scythe is now picked up by the Queen of Pain as well. So the smoke and the RP finds a kill, but they do lose a hero in return. So still not really the trades being big enough as MFF need at this point.
1 for 1. It's okay. Like, if you're going to be going into the game and dropping a solo RP at this stage, you get a kill, you force OG maybe a little bit back, that's fine. Like, you're just looking for the room right now, but Arise... Oh, he's so dead.
He is very, very dead indeed. There's a vacuum. Oh. But that's all it's going to be. Sing Sing. Oh, he wants some. He blinks straight in onto this one. He's looking for a bit of action, trying to chase down Fly. He's going to need a bash. He's not going to quite be able to get it here. Now blinks on towards Miracle. Miracle himself blinks forward. Will take the kill onto Lina. Now with the stun here. Magic Missile as well with the Boris Punch and the Snowball stun. Sing Sing gets taken down. They've lost 3. Make that 4 here. As the shards from Tusk make short work of Kebab's Wyvern. And now MFF 8-20 for the buyback on Sing. They do have buybacks available on... well, it's actually just the Magnus here as well. And look at this Nyx Assassin. Obnoxious is definitely the definition. Oh, maybe they can punish it. And nice. Okay, nice, they can. Now find themselves a kill here for Sing Sing. Did, of course, have to come back into the fight for this one. Let's see if they can stop this push on the mid lane here. OG, of course, feeling very strong. They'll take the tier 3. They'll look for more. They are going to have an RP back in 10 seconds when Arise is up. It's going to have to be, as we keep saying, the biggest RP of their life. Of his life. If he wants to turn this. They'll almost certainly lose these racks in the mid lane. Magnus is back. RP in 4. But OG, we talked about this before, just their composition and just how safely they play. And they're not going to risk sticking around. They know that Mag's up. They know that he's going to have the RP. And they'll play it safe and just back off from the mid.
Yeah, there's no reason to take the risk right now, knowing Roshan's up. I mean, it's not up yet, but it's going to be up really freaking soon. That's a rough game for MFF. 2 games in a row. I'm not really sure what they can do outside of just land really nice teamfight ultis. Like, that's what they have to play around at this point. The landing phase went amazingly well for OG. And MFF just didn't really have an answer during the mid game. And I got to give a lot of credit to Moon, because he was the one who... He broke 2 smoke ganks back to back. Those smoke ganks could have very easily resulted in picks that could have given MFF the space they needed to actually get Sing the item timing, right? But because that didn't happen, MFF kind of get controlled, stuck in their base, and then all of a sudden you have this game that becomes very predicated on, does the mag hit his ulti? And if he doesn't hit his ulti, what is our backup plan?
Let's see what they can do off the back of this. Yapsor's moving in first with the Lina. There'll be a cooldown from No-Tail here, trying to find positioning here. Lotus Sword's been thrown out to No-Tail. They've got the BKB as well. Arise still hanging in the sidelines. He wants to wait for the opportune moment to move in, but the Hex is already there, and they've already lost 2. They may even lose 3 here as well. Demon pops the Greaves. The Sonic Wave comes out here onto Arise. He tries to get himself over the cliff and away. They've lost 3. Arise will be able to get out. But MFF, they looked for the aggression, they looked for the play, but OG just ended up punishing it once again.
I suppose Sing lived. That means he can get the lanes out a little bit farther before OG are able to deal any real damage, or maybe they just rotate all 5 over to try to find him.
Is No Tail going Rapier here?
No, it's Abyssal.
No, it's Abyssal. Okay. Okay.
The thing that's really
down.
If you look at the way that they itemized on OG as well, there's already a Lotus Orb up on Fly, so they're prepared for the Laguna, they're prepared for the potential Winter's Curse or the Mana Void. All 3 spells are great to reflect if you can do that, and it also reflects Abyssal, which Sing is building into. He hasn't opted for the BKB choice, so when they're going as 5, and Sing is eventually forced to fight with the team, typically you want to go on the 2 biggest teamfight contributors, which are No Tail and Miracle. But with having the Lotus Orb makes it really scary, because if you mess up and you cast into Lotus Orb, a Winter's Curse on your own team can just spell disaster. And Abyssaling yourself probably won't feel that great either.
Let's see what the plan is. Oh, Sing. This may not be the plan.
That carapace, dude.
That was not the plan. He's now dead for 100 seconds. And without buyback as well.
He's got a gem for each eye now on the Nyx. That's the most important part.
I think this may be the beginning of it being a wash now, Andy.
Yeah, I think this is a good old GG here.
Unfortunate there from Sing. OG, they'll find the mid-racks, and 40 minutes in, you know, MFF nearly lasting twice as long as they did the first time round.
I still really never felt like they had a control of the game. That's the problem. It doesn't matter if you last 10 minutes or 50 minutes if you're never actually winning at any point. And I really didn't feel like MFF were winning at any point. And that's kind of harsh to say, but it's just credit to OG for drafting well, playing well.
GG! The game is over, Andy.
It is indeed.
It is indeed. And hats off to MFF for giving it them their best, but the best, it just wasn't good enough.
OG just seemed to be on another level, honestly. Like
OG,
I watch them,
pretty
and I think they're like definitely tier 1 quality, you know, like Secret up there with like Vici, EG, all those other teams who are considered widely the best. Like when I watch them play, I get that feeling. You know, you're watching a really, really great team. And not to take anything away from MFF, they've had some roster issues, they're still trying to find their footing, but it's a rough matchup, man. 14 games in a row. OG are just on an insane spree right now.
They really are. They seem time and time again bringing the top force to the game, and it's just been too much for the opponents. It's going to be interesting to see how they do against teams at another level, because obviously Four Clovers and Monkey Freedom Fighters, they're a little bit hit and miss, so it's going to be interesting to see when they go up against some of the stronger forces. But at least so far, OG showing no signs of stopping the streak that they're on, and that's going to be it for the first series of the day. 2-0 to the side of OG, but don't go anywhere. That's it from myself and Andy, but the panel, they're waiting to talk to you guys, so we'll pass straight over to them. We'll see you guys later for the second series.
DreamHack at Monster Energy Studios. Game 2 also going the way of OG. A bit more of a longer game compared to game number 1. A bit more of a fight from Monkey Freedom Fighters. And I believe that Lumi wants to show, before anybody else says anything, he wants to show something with a luminous analysis. Yeah, you are.
I can't hear the music, so I don't know if I'm live or not. You know?
It's broken.
All right, let's just go into the replay. What's Swedish music? That was not it. All right, let's jump into the replay.
Was it?
All right,
there we go.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, so this is just a random nice RP, the turnaround RP, and then the connection into the Lina.
You got me up, Sort?
Yep, he's like standing there. He's like waiting. Easy.
That's some good synergy right there.
To actually time it that well with Snowball is actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
You know, he actually pre-casts the Light Strike away.
Yeah, it's really good. Well done.
Yeah.
There's 4 of us on the couch, and some of us are quite moist after that one.
It was definitely RP. Can't give you a straight face. Okay, so but yeah, no, good game overall. OG. I mean, we had Andy name it that he thought that this team is on tier one level.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They play amazingly. Like every game, we see more and more dominant. Like they just, how do you beat them? It seems very difficult.
How do you beat them, Ape Mother?
Yeah, come on, you have to beat them right
Yeah.
now.
Right now.
What's your strat? How are you gonna
You
deal
need
with
a
them?
really like luscious draft. Like
What's a luscious draft?
you need to like steamroll from minute 0. You have to
Okay.
get like first blood and then kill 2 more, so you have a triple kill on your carry. It buys Midas at like minute 5.
So would you say something like
you start
closer?
Midasing heroes. That's how you win the game, man.
Oh my god.
Nah,
Okay,
but seriously,
Real talk, the closer to maybe game 1's draft, because
Yeah.
that was a snowball draft from MFF, but they didn't snowball. Was that
Yeah,
the
I
issue?
I think this is the right approach. They just didn't execute nearly as good as they should have, and they didn't anticipate the aggressive tri-lane either. So I think they need to think more about laning and like how they're gonna survive the early mid game and come out ahead in the mid game and maybe like pull ahead. You need to pull ahead somehow. You can't just be after all the time because they're just running around getting killed by the next assassin and stuff. It was a real mess in the mid lane, you know.
Even when they were going high ground, I was like kind of surprised with Arise missing them skewers because he usually never ever does.
Yeah, I think there must have been some kind of lag issue or something. They were complaining.
Yeah.
It looked like they were lagging
It did,
a lot of
didn't it?
times, like the anti-mage was running around like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you can't really beat them in the draft. It has to be outplay.
It's kind of draft, but also execution. It has to be both. It can't be one or the other. It's
Yeah,
like...
because Lumi said earlier before the game started, or before the series started even, that OG is one of those teams that has such a wide variety of heroes that they can choose from, that it is very difficult to get them locked up in a corner for, like, pick them, maybe make them pick something up that they're uncomfortable with, because they're comfortable with so many
Yeah,
heroes.
they can just draft anything, basically. So
Well, I mean, it depends how you look at it, right? Like we talked about how safe OG's drafts are. You could even you could spin it and say that's a weakness. For example, if you draft a lineup that has a very strong 10-minute timing or 15-minute timing, you just beat them with that timing. It feels like OG's drafts are always strong. They're decently strong throughout every stage of the
Just
game,
really well
but they
balanced.
never have a huge spike in power. They only get that spike if they do well in the laning stage, if they get early kill. So for example, something that Empire or Vega likes to do is like 15-minute double blink dagger on like TA plus and then a core, like a slaughter, and then you just go, go, go.
Yeah.
Maybe or that type of lineup, or the type of lineup that could beat OGs. So
Okay, so Monkey Freedom Fighters, they're not looking too hot right now. What would you say that they should improve on?
Like it seemed like every time that they tried to be offensive, that OG would just like thwart off all their offense. And I don't know, like it just seems like you need to take control of the game more rather than let them kind of play their style. You need to be on the offensive because like Anti-Mage just kind of did his thing and they tried to farm him up and stuff. But when you look at okay, so Magnus has to sit with Anti-Mage, give him Empower, kind of let him farm, and they have to sit behind him. Rather, when you look at OG, they're just like, okay, Miracle, you go farm, and we'll just do our own thing. And like, we don't need to help you in any way. And it's kind of a different style of play, and I think at the moment, that's the style that's working.
well, the difference is that Anti-Mage started in the safe lane against a tri-lane, and his support gave him no help. Miracle had a dominant lane, and then after Nyx got a solo kill against Darkseer, that's when Miracle rotated back. At that point, Miracle was like, you know, he's very leveled, he's already getting item, he could free farm. Like his team was already put him in a fairly dominant position. Anti-Mage had no help, and he had to recover slowly. So
that's down to the draft again, then.
I think it's just a smarter strategy by Fly. You know, giving that offensive trial, and it felt like they were just taken by surprise.
Was the anti-mage pick perhaps the reason why they couldn't like fight early on? If there had been if Juggernaut wasn't banned out and they had Juggernaut instead of the anti-mage, do you think they would have a way better shot? Like how much of a difference do you think that would have made?
I think it wasn't so much on the anti-mage at all. Like that was fine. It was just when it came down to it, and when their draft is the strongest, is like high ground, you know, or 5v5 engagements, and it just didn't really play their way in them engagements. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really get the RPs they needed. They didn't get the skewers they needed. So I think it comes more down to just execution in the small team fights.
Okay, and a hero that we saw, well, we haven't seen that often, was Nyx Assassin. Played very well by Moon, and we actually have a chance to talk to Moon right now in a winner's interview. Congratulations, Moon, on another victory.
Thanks. Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you for sure. Are these victories getting a bit tiresome for you, maybe? No?
No. We take every game serious.
Okay,
I wake up every morning and then I always watch a replay of the people we're playing before we play them to get a good feel for them. It's don't let victories get to your head, guys. Always there's no such thing as a free win. It's still Dota. If you play bad, you can still lose versus people who are less experienced than you.
Okay, and for that first game, or second game rather, you had Anti-Mage as the last pick on the side of Monkey Freedom Fighters. What was your team's plan on dealing with the Anti-Mage? How are you going about that?
Well, we have a lot of experience of killing rats based on playing Alliance, like Emerald Bulldog. So when they picked Anti-Mage, we felt like it was going to be a good game because I would.
Well, yeah.
No, it was an Urban Dictionary. It was an Urban Dictionary, so it wasn't specific. But then we had a lot of different things that OG could stand for, and we tried to fit the best one for per person.
Yeah, and you were the Oriental gangster.
Oh shit!
Because I remember when you stream, you would give like really inspirational speeches after you hit like, I don't know, 6K or whatever, right?
Like an Oriental gangster.
Like an Oriental gangster.
Wow, I'm flattered. That's awesome. I like that name. I might take that.
The team is named after you, hereby decided. Hey, we're gonna see you again play tomorrow. We're gonna give you the night off. Thank you for talking to us, and good luck in the further games.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
OG.
That of course was a moon from OG, now named Oriental Gangsta Gaming. And with the games played just now, we can take a look at the standings and see what they're doing right now. How they're looking right now, because I think OG is on the rise. They have still got quite a few games to go, but they are looking very solid with still 2 series to go. They still have to play against Ninjas in Pajamas and against No Logic Gaming. So we're going to see them actually on all the days this week further on. And we're going to actually see Ninjas in Pajamas play as well in our next series, with Ninjas in Pajamas taking on a Vega Squadron. And we'll have a short break before we come back. So we'll be right back.